Hey mamas, my name is Brittany Bryden. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. So today's class is a great one to do at any stage during your pregnancy. Good one to do first thing in the morning, get a little energy in your body, get some movement happening, so hopefully you leave your practice feeling great and ready to take on the day. So I do recommend you have 2 blocks for this practice. Now if you don't have 2 blocks, you can use a thick pillow, that will work as well. But I do suggest that if you are going to continue to do some yoga during your pregnancy, having 2 blocks make things a little bit more accessible, especially the further along you get. So they are highly recommended. Grab them if you don't have them yet, but otherwise use a pillow. So if you do have 2 blocks, you're going to place your 2 blocks into a T shape. So starting on the lowest height, and then you can adjust them higher from there. One's going to support the head, one's going to support your upper thoracic. If you're using a pillow, just place it so that your spine and your head can rest on that pillow comfortably. Your bum is on the ground, so if it's not, your block is too far down the back. And then I personally just like to slide my shoulder blades a little bit underneath the back so it's more comfortable. Legs out in front of you, you can rest your arms on the ground, or you can rest your hands on your belly. Once you get nice and cozy here, you're going to shut down the eyes and bring awareness to your breath. Focus on your inhales and your exhales. I want you to envision like you're just getting heavier and heavier onto those props. Those props are there to support you. So allow yourself to let go of any stress that you might be carrying. And just come back to the present, taking it one moment at a time. You're going to bend your knees and set your feet down on the mat. And then slowly you're going to roll over to either side. Just slide the arm underneath the ear and we'll take a few breaths there. And then using your hands, just very gently make your way up. And you're going to face the long edge of your mat. And you're going to take one of those blocks and you're going to come to sit on the block so your pelvis is elevated a little bit. And we'll sit cross-legged. So if you only have that pillow, then sit on the pillow. So from here, you're going to rest your hands on the knees. We'll just move through a couple cat-cows. So you're going to lift your chest to the gate of the shoulders, send the sternum up. And then flex to the spine. So you're going to round, bring your chin in towards your chest. And then again, chest comes forwards. And then round. So you're going to continue with your cat-cows and feel free to add in something else. Maybe it's some circles through the rib cage. Just close your eyes. Notice how it feels in your body today. And And then come to center, sitting up tall. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Your right hand is going to come down to the ground. You're going to lean over to the right and just look underneath that left arm. Then come back through center. You're going to set your left hand down, reach your right arm up. Lean over to the left, look underneath the right arm. And then bring yourself back up. So you're going to take your legs out to the side. You're going to flex your feet, send the legs up towards the ceiling. So don't take them as wide as you possibly can. Take them about I would say about 75% of your full range. So send the toes up towards the ceiling. Your right arm is going to come to the inside of the right leg. So your hand can come to the ground or your hand can reach for your ankle, maybe the outside of the foot. So your arm's going to press on the leg, leg's going to push back. You're going to rotate the chest up towards the ceiling and just reach that left arm up. And then as you reach that left arm up, let that top arm fall back a bit, but keep pressing that arm into the leg. And then come back to center. Take that left arm in front of the left leg. So again, either the hand on the ground, ankle, or outside of the foot. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Let that top arm fall back as you lift the chest up. And then come back to center. All right, so now take your legs nice and wide and you can start to straighten the legs. You can stay sitting on that block or prop, or you can remove it and come down onto your bums. This was one of my favorites to do when I was pregnant. I started to get so tight to the hips, so this helped me have some relief, and I hope it does for you too. So from here, you're gonna walk your hands forwards. Again, you can bend those knees as much as you need. Just keep sending the toes up towards the ceiling. You can let your head just drop. Just bring awareness to your breath. And then walk your hands in. And however is easiest for you to get there, we're going to end up in table with your two blocks on the lowest height. So to swing your legs around, grab your two blocks, place them on the lowest height, hands on the blocks, knees hip distance apart. Now from here, we're going to move through those cat-cows again. So you're going to lift the chest to the gate of the shoulders, send the tailbone up, and then round and push away from the floor. So continue with your cat-cows. One more cycle. And then come into your neutral spine. You're going to tuck your toes under. Keep your hands on the blocks. Just lift your hips up and back and come into a wide down dog. So take your feet at least mat distance apart. Keep sending the hips back and you're going to walk your legs out. So bend one knee, straighten the other, and just shift side to side. And then lift your heels up nice and high. You're going to bend your knees. You're going to walk your feet forwards or waddle your way forwards until you come and take your hands or feet behind the blocks or slightly wider. Just coming into a ragdoll. So bend those knees so you can really hinge from the hips and fold into the legs. Let the head just drop. If this is uncomfortable and your belly's pretty big by now, you can just take your hands to your thighs. Take a few breaths here. And then you're going to reach down for your blocks, place them on the highest height. And then from here, keep the knees bent. You're going to slowly roll yourself up to stand. All right. So just bring your feet on the mat about hip distance apart, maybe wider. Reach both arms up towards the ceiling. And then bend the knees and fold forwards and take your hands to the blocks. Now bring your fingertips to the blocks. You're going to lift up halfway, lengthen. And then bend your knees and take a big step back with your right leg. So you're going to walk your right foot back a little bit more and your blocks are going to come to the inside of your left foot. So keep power in your right leg and you're just going to come forwards and backwards into the hip. And then set your right knee down to the floor. So you're going to come onto the outer edge of your left foot. So externally rotate from that hip, let that left knee fall to the left side. You can keep your hands on the blocks. You can take your hands to the ground. You can adjust your blocks to a different height, or you can walk your hands more to the right, forwards. I want you basically just to play around with it. So all these different lines in the hips. Notice any sweet spots, and if you find those sweet spots, stay there for a few breaths before you move out of it. And from here, if your blocks are at a different height, place your blocks back on the highest height. And then we're going to shift our hips back for a half split. So flex that left foot, bend your left knee as much as you need. And you can either walk your blocks forwards or you can walk your blocks more towards the right. Now bring your blocks back to the inside of that left foot. You're going to bend into the front leg, tuck your back toes under, pick up your back knee, and then drop your back heel to the center of the mat. So I want you to feel like you're pulling your heels together. Rotate the hips to the right. Keep your left hand on the block and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. You're going to do some big circles with that right arm, going in both directions. And now you're going to come up into a warrior two. So from here, you're going to straighten that front leg, reach both arms up towards the ceiling. And then come back into warrior two, bend the front leg, arms up to the side. Again, straighten the leg, reach both arms up. Come back into warrior two. And then one more time, reach your arms up. Come into warrior two. Keep the legs, reverse your warrior, reach that left arm up and over. And then come back in your warrior two. You're going to windmill your hands down onto the blocks, turn onto the ball of that right foot. Now set your blocks on the lowest height. And then from here, you're going to step that left foot back and come into that wide down dog. So step your feet mat distance apart, walk the legs out. And then lift your heels up, bend the knees, walk or waddle your way forwards. And then adjust your blocks to the highest height. So fingertips come to the blocks, lengthen the spine. Bend your knees and take that big step back with your left leg. Wiggle the left toes back, and now bring your blocks to the inside of that right foot. So keep power in that left leg. You're just coming forwards and backwards into the hip. And then set your left knee down. Externally rotate from that right hip, so come on the outer edge of that right foot. Let that right knee fall to the right side. And you're just going to play around with it. So maybe it's changing the shape of the blocks. Maybe it's where your hands are going. So bring your blocks on the highest height to the inside of that right foot. This time you're going to shift your hips back, come into a half split. So pull those toes right back towards the face. And then just walk the blocks around. And then bring the blocks to the inside of that right foot. Bend into the front leg. Tuck your left toes under, pick up your back knee. So now drop that back heel to the center of the mat. Rotate the hips towards the left. Keep that right hand on the block, reach your left arm up. And just start to do some big circles with that left arm. You're going in both directions. And you're going to keep the legs as you come up into warrior two. So from here, straighten that front leg, reach both arms up, and then come back into warrior two. Again, straighten the leg, both arms reach up, and then warrior two. One more time, straighten the leg, arms up. Come back into warrior two. Leave the legs, reach that right arm up and over. And then windmill your hands down onto the blocks. Turn onto the ball of that back foot. Place your blocks on the lowest height. And then step back, downward dog. All right, so from here, you're gonna lift your heels up, bend your knees, walk or waddle your way forwards. Set those blocks off to the side and then slowly roll up the spine as you come up to stand. So you're gonna turn to face the side of the mat. It doesn't matter which side you face, but your heels are gonna come in, turn your feet out, bend the knees. You're gonna lower the hips down and just take your hands, maybe your elbows come to the inside of the thighs, and you're just gonna rock side to side. Take a few more breaths here. Now you're gonna lift your hips up, bring your feet parallel, and you're gonna come into a wide-legged forward fold. So you can reach for one or two of your blocks. Your hands can come into the blocks. Bend your knees, let the head just fall as you fold into the legs. Let go of the tension around your neck, your shoulders. Now you're gonna come onto your fingertips and lengthen the spine. So you're gonna leave the feet as they are, but you're gonna come into a skater lunge. You're gonna bend into your left leg. So you're gonna actively press that left knee open and then shift over to the right. You're gonna go side to side. So if you prefer to turn this into skandasana lunges where you're externally rotating from the hip, if that feels good for you and that's in your practice, that's an option as well. So next time that you lunge into the right leg, you're gonna pivot to face the front, set your left knee down, slide your right knee back, and we're gonna come into a child's pose. You're gonna take your knees nice and wide, hips go back, walk your hands forwards and bring your forehead to the floor. You can also slide a block underneath the forehead, and you're just gonna shift your hips back towards the heels. But if that's not comfortable for many reasons, whether it's your knee, your hips, your belly, your ankles, then be more in a puppy. So you're just gonna send the hips back, walk the hands forwards, forehead down to the ground. Close the eyes, bring awareness to your breath. And slowly roll yourself up. Swing your legs forwards. So if you're near a wall, come as close to the wall as you can and take your legs up the wall. If you're not near a wall, you're gonna use your block or your pillow. You're gonna come down onto your back. So you're gonna lift your pelvis up a little bit, slide that prop underneath your glutes. So making sure you feel nice and comfortable in that, and then you're gonna take your legs out. Oh, again, this was one of my absolute go-tos when I was pregnant. My legs would get so swollen. So just feeling that reverse of blood flow was really helpful. So close down the eyes. You can rest your hands on your belly here. You can take the arms down to the ground. So we're going to close off here today. So take as much time as you need with your legs up. But when you are ready to leave, just very gently take yourself out of the shape. Don't rush it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again real soon. Always be humble, be kind, Thank you, and namaste.